today I am with JT Harp of Transworld Business Advisors of Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. JT, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited to have you on. You are a new member business for us,
Okay.
but you've been working with Transworld Business Advisors for a while. Tell us a little bit about your journey. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, sure. So I am an ex-corporate senior executive for several years, mainly with the Kroger company and then with another smaller retailer for about a couple years out in Oregon. So 30-year corporate career. Very proud of it. Worked really hard. Did a lot of cool things. But at some point, it's just time to kind of move on and do your own thing, which is kind of where I was at in life.
Mm-hmm.
So in parallel to my corporate career, my wife and I owned a couple of small businesses in addition to that. And so then when the pandemic hit, we decided we needed to peel off those businesses. And Transworld Business Advisors actually helped us with that exit. So that's how I became engaged with Transworld and that team. And so when I was finally plotting my official corporate exit and deciding what I wanted to do next, ideally, as I mentioned, that would be something to do for me and for myself as a small business owner. So I reached out to Transworld and I said, hey, you remember me? Let's grab some coffee. Here's what I'm thinking. And so the Transworld leadership group was like, yeah, we can, certainly help you find a good business to buy. Mm-hmm. Or would you potentially consider joining our team? We're looking for great people as well. So one thing led to another. I grew up in Southern Ohio, so I was hoping to kind of get back home. I moved around the country quite a bit in different senior leadership roles. And so it just so happened that Transworld had an opportunity right here in Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. And so opened up my office about a year and a half or so ago, and it's been great.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. I love that it's a homecoming and a really full circle moment for you to do all of those things. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your organization, who you are, who you serve.
Sure. So Transworld Business Advisors mainly helps small to medium-sized business owners confidentially sell their businesses. Mm-hmm. So as you might imagine, these are life events for our business owners. A lot of them don't even know business brokers exist. They don't know who to turn to when they need help. And perhaps most importantly, they want to keep things confidential because, as you might imagine, if small business associates find out that they're for sale, they get scared, mm-hmm. right? Small business owners also perhaps don't want their competition to find out, their suppliers to find out, their customers to find out. So we're able to go to market in a way for our small business owners that keeps everything confidential, keeps it cloaked, but yet attracts buyers, attracts interest, and does it in a way that keeps things confidential yet maximizes their exit.
Yeah, and for small business owners, especially, things are changing all of the time for small business owners. They're doing tons of things all the time. Mm-hmm. If you're a small business owner and you're thinking about selling, when is the time to reach out? When do you start that process?
Well, for a small business owner, you'd like to think you have a plan, but sometimes life happens, mm-hmm. right? So, ideally, if you're at least 3 to 5 years out, we probably ought to start having a conversation. Even if you're 10 years out, it's good to at least make that connection and understand the process. Because, again, let's say you're 3 to 5 years out or 10 years out, that's assuming you have a plan.
Right.
Well, sometimes life happens. And sometimes things happen in business to where the plan goes a little bit differently than you had intended. And so we always like to make that connection sooner than later to let the business owner understand, first of all, what the process looks like, and then perhaps what buyers are looking for in good, healthy, small to medium-sized businesses that makes them more attractive. So that way, if they understand the process and they understand perhaps what, at a high level, what buyers are looking for, then they can work towards that, knowing that if it's 5 years, 10 years, or even 5 months from now, they'll be more ready than perhaps they are now.
Yeah, so you can work with a small business at pretty much any stage in this conversation.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, we won't actually engage and start moving forward and acting on behalf of that small business owner until they're really ready to sell, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of things, no different than kind of selling your house. There's a lot of things you can do today to make that house more appealing down the road if you do plan to, sell that house 6 months to a year in advance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And I think for small business owners, the day-to-day, it's like a baby. Owning a small business is someone who works for a small business owner. I know that my boss thinks that. Sure. So what do you say to small business owners that are maybe a little nervous, maybe a little scared about starting this process and moving forward with selling a business?
Well, this is, first of all, what we do. We do it all day long, and we're good at it. So you need a good, trusting partner to help you with a life event mm-hmm. that this is. Every business needs to sell at some point. And these are life events. We take them, first of all, very seriously because in the small to medium-sized business environment, it can get very emotional. It is very emotional, regardless of the reason or the timing of the sale, because you kind of nailed it. This is their baby. They've nurtured it. They've seen it grow. They've invested in it. The blood, sweat, and tears mentality is real. We love our small business owners. They're the heart and soul of our country. And when it comes time to sell, it is very, very emotional. And so, yeah, it's scary. Yes, we want to keep things confidential, and you can't go it alone. You've mentioned it now a couple times. Small and medium-sized business owners are extremely busy. Mm-hmm. It intertwines with their life. They've got a million different balls in the air. They're trying not to drop any of them. And the last thing they need is the burden of trying to, on their own, find a buyer, keep things confidential, handle the negotiations, think through the financials, the onboarding, the training, everything that goes into that transaction and then that post-transaction can't be just on their shoulders. They need help. Right. They need support, and that's where we come in.
Especially as they're running that business day to day. That doesn't stop when you're trying to sell the business. You're still making it run. You're still paying the bills. You're still paying your employees.
Absolutely. Nor should it slow down or stop because, and unfortunately I've seen it, business owners try to take this burden on their own. Mm-hmm. And what happens is their focus pivots to the potential sale of the business. They think they have a good buyer. They think they're getting maximum value. We really don't know because we haven't taken it to market. And then what happens? They're focused over here, and then their business starts to suffer. Mm-hmm. Sales may start to decline a bit. We may lose an important client. We may lose an important associate. And then what happens is the value of that business declines with every potential pothole you hit. Mm-hmm. So again, we like to think we're a trusting partner that can get them to the finish line without burdening them with the process, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of things that would set you apart from other competitors that people can work with. Touch on that a little bit. I know there are a lot of national organizations that do things like that. Obviously, you guys are a team that's local, but you have the national backing of the organization. Tell us a little bit about what sets you apart.
Sure. So, yes, first and foremost, we are here locally. We've heard from a lot of different business owners that they get, I wouldn't say bombarded, but bugged occasionally, often enough, from either email or regular traditional mail from organizations in Chicago, New York, overseas, Los Angeles, about the potential desire to sell their business. That could be a bit of a turnoff and could be even more scary when you're working potentially with someone you've never even met and probably never will meet. Mm-hmm. Yes, we're here locally, and we'd like to meet our business owners in person, get to know them, build that trust, build that rapport, so that way we can work together moving forward. So that's a big thing. We're here locally and we're here to help. Secondly, I'm a small business owner currently, previously. So I lean on that experience. I know what it's like to own a business, to run a business, to sell a business. And I've also got that corporate experience that I leverage quite a bit. I've been involved in multi-million-dollar negotiations before. My team and I are able to handle these types of negotiations as well, locally, and with a lot of local, regional insight that perhaps other organizations can't bring to the table. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you mentioned it, we're locally owned, but worldwide known, if you will. So we've got over 300 offices in 26 countries. We have 500,000 buyers in our buyer pool. If there's an opportunity that I haven't or my team hasn't personally run up against, I can leverage my Transworld network and leverage their experience and their know-how to get those that knowledge, that experience applied to the local transaction or the local deal. So yes, we have a lot of levers, if you will, at our disposal, and we've got a worldwide reach, and all of those things combined presents an opportunity for us to really provide a high level of service to our local business owners.
Yeah.
So it's something we're pretty proud of.
Yeah, I think that's so incredible that you guys are doing this work. Obviously, it sounds like you had a wonderful experience and
yes,
it's brought you back. And so obviously you guys have this team here locally, and you mentioned that you're looking to grow this team. So tell us a little bit about the opportunities that you guys have right now.
Sure. So we are a team of 6 currently. We have myself, we have a full-time admin that helps us with, as you can imagine, all things. We have an intern that's helping us out of the University of Miami with some social media stuff. And then we've got 3 other brokers that are actively marketing and selling businesses. We are looking to grow our team, however. As I mentioned earlier on in the podcast, we've got a starting point of about a year and a half or so ago. And between then and now, we're now up to 6. And ideally, we would want to grow our team by another 4 to 6 broker agents. And we're really looking for finding some top talent down here in Northern Kentucky. So if you or anybody in your network of those folks that are listening know of anybody that are potentially looking for a career change, we are looking for high quality individuals to join the team and to help build the brand and help more people ultimately in the small to medium sized business space. Good candidates are those that have either owned their small business before, have a good background in finance, legal, banking, insurance, really anybody that's got a sense of personal organization and got a high energy to help people. That's really what we're looking to build our team with. So as folks listening can think of anybody in their network looking to make a good career change, we've got a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, it does sound like a great opportunity.
Yeah, thanks.
And one of the things I think is really interesting here at the Northern Kentucky Chamber, so many of our member businesses, I believe it's 85%, are small businesses. Mm-hmm. So you are really having an audience right now directly with them. Is there anything else that you think small business owners should know about working with your organization or just about your organization in general?
I think we hit on the high points. I'll just say that if you've ever been curious about what the future might look like and you know that at some point that day is going to come, let's just have a conversation. We're here locally, happy to grab coffee, grab lunch, just meet off site. Obviously, we're intentionally doing so to keep things confidential, but also, look, I came back to give back in a lot of ways, right? And so certainly it's great to be home, if you will, on the family front, the personal front, but it's also good to be home in a way that I can provide this service to my fellow small to medium-sized business owners. And as I mentioned earlier, you never know when you're going to need us, but just know that we're here when that day comes.
Yeah.
And so again, if you're curious to just have a quick conversation, learn more about us, our process and how we can help, maybe not necessarily now, but down the road, I'd love to have that conversation.
Yeah, and what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Sure. So we've got our website, tworld.com/Cincinnati. You can obviously learn more about us there and reach out directly through the website. My personal email is jharp@tworld.com. And then my office / personal cell number is 513-725-7283. You can call or text that number directly, and we'd be happy to get back to you. That is a 513 number, but we do have operations here in the Northern Kentucky area. And happy to say that we've already helped several business owners on this side of the river, and we aim to help a lot more.
Yeah, well, JT, it has been so great to have you on. I really appreciate your time today, and I hope that our small businesses that are in need of some assistance will reach out to you if needed.
Absolutely. We are here to help, and thank you so much for the opportunity, and looking forward to helping as many business owners as we can.
Chris Knockelman with Schneller Knockelman Plumbing, Heating, and Air. It's spring now, but before you know it, our ACs are working overtime.
Dave, it's going to be warm soon.
Right now is a good time to get the AC serviced, right?
You can get your AC tuned up for only $59.
So get your $59 tune-up at
SKPHA.com. SKPHA. So if your plumbing and mechanical systems give you trouble, just remember our name, Schneller Knockelman.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Transworld Business Advisors of Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky and RJE Interiors on today's episode of the podcast. Like I said, you can register for Business After Hours sponsored by Frost Brown Todd on Wednesday, March 19th. Like I said, that is a tour of the One NKY Center. You will not want to miss out on that. That's a really cool opportunity. You can register at nkychamber.com/events. Thank you once again to our podcast sponsors, C Crew, Google and Amazon advertising experts, and Schneller Knockelman. Finally, if you are a member who would like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in joining the Northern Kentucky Chamber, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. And if you're a member who would like to share your workforce strategies and resources on our Talent Strategies Spotlight, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find their contact information on the screen in front of you or at our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll talk to everyone next week.